This is the No More Wasted Days podcast, and we're your hosts, Sarah Kaufman Bradstreet
and Heather PG. Grab your favorite NA drink and listen as we share vulnerable stories so you never feel alone on your alcohol-free journey.
And gain insights from us as we break down our most used tips and strategies that have kept us alcohol-free.
It's time to break free from wasting any more of your days to the drinking, blackout, hangover cycle.
Welcome to another episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sarah.
I'm Heather.
And today, Heather's going to teach us all about staying alcohol-free during the holidays. She's going to give some awesome tips, tricks, and mindful strategies you can use. So perfect timing.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to say, if you're listening from an airport, or you're on your way to the airport, or you're getting ready to travel, make sure you download a couple of our episodes so that you can listen to them when you're in airplane mode, or if you're not going to have access to Wi-Fi.
Yes. What a good pointer, because I don't know how many times I've been on a plane and all of a sudden I'm like, I have no podcast to listen to. And download a few of our episodes, because the airport can be a tricky spot. All of a sudden, there's no rules in the airport. It really is like the wild, wild west. Everybody's drinking at 6 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever time of day it is, people are drinking. So it can be really overwhelming.
Yes. So we're going to talk about staying alcohol-free during the holidays. And you may be thinking, well, I don't want to start now. I'm going to do dry January. And that's great. This will help you too. So we really want to think about how much constant and consistent pressure there is to drink at parties, family gatherings, festive dinners, the work parties. So today we're going to explore how we can get through this and enjoy with confidence, enjoy without booze.
Yes.
So whether it's your first holiday season trying to be alcohol-free, or whether you're further along on your journey like Sarah and I, we got you covered.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good episode. And before we dive in, I want to tell you all that the enrollment to the Push to 100 is officially open. I'm going to be hosting a 100-day alcohol-free challenge. We are going to start on January 1st. But you can sign up now so you can get connected with the text access that's going to be available to me and the group. There's also going to be 9 live group coaching calls that will happen during this challenge. And all of them will be recorded. So if you can't be on live, no big deal. But if you can be on live to those, you get to ask questions and really share your struggles, share your successes so we can cheer each other on. And there will be videos to help support you the whole way through the 100 days. I'm going to be by your side the whole way through those 100 days so you can have that success. And Heather and I were just talking before we got on the call. She said, there's a reason most rehab programs are 90 days, because it takes a long time for us to break this habit that we've created. So in those 100 days, it can just be an amazing stepping stone for you to walk into your alcohol-free life with confidence. The link to join is in the show notes, and enrollment will close on January 1st at midnight, so be sure to check that out.
Yeah, check it out, you all. And also go back to the episode where we talk about the timelines and what to expect in the first year, so you can see how valuable having that support the first 100 days really is.
Yeah.
So, the holidays. Sarah, did you use the holidays as a big excuse to drink?
Oh my God. Yes. Like, especially when I wasn't as big of a drinker, like when I was just a little baby drinker, I was like, oh my gosh, on Christmas Eve is when my family celebrates. So I would start drinking mimosas early in the day because it felt socially acceptable. And then I would just drink the whole way through Christmas Eve. And newsflash, I would be a disaster on Christmas Day, which is then when we'd celebrate with Ryan's family. But then I would just start drinking again because, again, it was socially acceptable to just keep that party rolling. And then that weird time between Christmas Day to New Year's Eve, oh my gosh. And I was a teacher, so I wasn't working during that time. And it was just like, oh my gosh, it was crazy how much I could drink. And then once I was in like my heavier drinking days, that's really when I was like, oh, I can just be myself right now. I can just be my drink and party Sarah, and I don't have to feel guilty about it.
Yeah, I totally used it as an excuse. And then when I went to have my physical at the beginning of the year, thinking I was responsible, I was like, oh, why is my blood work not great?
Right?
So I think it's obviously very common for folks to overindulge over the holidays, whether it's sweets, carbs, like, you're not sleeping as much, you're out of routine. So it's easier to say yes to the drink.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're definitely not alone. And I think more and more people are choosing to live alcohol free. And the holidays are actually an opportunity to take control of your own well being.
Yes.
And I just want to start by saying you do not have to apologize or make excuses for your choice. I am so good at saying, I don't drink. Was I great at that over 3.5 years ago? No. You could say, I'm choosing not to drink right now for health reasons. Or one of my new favorites is, no, thank you. I'll have a water. Ooh, look at that really cool kombucha. Or like, ooh, look at that tiramisu. Like,
Yeah. The
just
redirection.
the redirection so that it's not on you. I really, really like that.
I think that's so smart. And to have the go-to answers that you're going to have and have a few of them and practice them. Did you
Yes.
practice them? Like, did you look in a mirror and practice?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yes.
Sounds nerdy, but it
No,
works.
no, no. Totally. I looked in the mirror. I said it going down the road. I practiced on complete strangers
Mm-hmm.
at like the grocery store, my nail tech.
Yeah.
That was really helpful. And it's important to remember that you can say, I'm not drinking right now to feel, because I want to feel my best. Then
Yes.
people aren't like, so what's your health issue? Are you pregnant? Oh, why is she on that antibiotic? It's just, I want to feel my best.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be like, come on, feel like shit with me tomorrow. And if they are, no, I want to feel my best. Redirect.
Yes. And I love the idea to redirect to like, I'm going to go do something else. Like, oh, look at the snacks over there. I'm going to go check out the snack tray. Oh, I've got to go talk to that person over there. Just have that redirection plan because that's so, so smart.
Absolutely. So, all right, we're telling people we want to feel our best. Now, how do we stay alcohol free? We've made it and we've had a successful festive dinner. Now we're at the airport, let's just say. Or, like, what do we do now? Plan your social calendar wisely. I cannot stress this enough.
Right.
I know that we feel pressure to say yes to everything. We want to be involved in everything. Plan wisely. You do not have to go to everything you're invited to. You don't have to participate in every conversation you're invited to. You do not have to. Prioritize where you do feel supported and comfortable. You can even suggest alternatives. If you've always done it at Uncle Bob's and he has the biggest, fastest liquor cabinet you've ever seen, suggest an alternative. If you always meet up with your friends from work, suggest coffee, suggest a walk. You can even do a virtual event. I know we're getting away from that as a result of the pandemic, but do you really want to feel your best?
Yeah.
If so, these are some suggestions. Especially if you're early on, you could say, I don't really want to come out tonight, but can y'all just prop me up on a Zoom link in the corner, like FaceTime me so you can connect, but you're not there if you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah. I love those ideas because I know in my first year, I was definitely selective. I went to my work party. So because I knew that it would be, I was going to feel proud of myself for not drinking at that one because before I had always drank too much at my staff party and it was embarrassing. When we got back to school the following Monday, it's just like, oh my gosh. And I was excited to go to my work party and be one of the non-drinkers because that's the thing. I knew there were non-drinkers at that party. I knew that not everybody was getting shit-faced, so I didn't need to. And I also knew it would be a really good place to practice. Now, it obviously depends on who you work with. Maybe your work party is not the place to go to. And as far as my family, that went okay as well. I was the instigator when it came to drinking at most family functions, at most parties. But like, I didn't go to neighborhood parties because I knew my neighbors were big drinkers. I knew that was a moment for me when I could say, oh, I don't have to drive. I can drink a lot. And I knew the other social things that I was going to go to, I was going to get to drive home sober and I was going to feel so proud of myself. But the things where I was like, oh my gosh, there's just that neighbor's always pushing shots on me and I won't have to drive. That's too much of a temptation. So really think about those things. And I love the idea too to have the alternate ideas for people when they're like,
Yeah.
want to do this? Oh, no, I can't do that evening actually. But do you want to meet for coffee on Saturday morning? How perfect is that?
Yeah. And if they say no, that's okay. You
Hmm.
still don't have to go. Or if they may have a suggestion and you've opened the door, then you get to have a new experience.
Yes.
And I think the next one is key always. And around the holidays, more so than ever, bring your own drinks. I recently ordered a 12-pack of Recess sparkling drinks. I got the blood orange because I thought they would be tasty. They didn't really have any like winter flavors, but I was like, this would be tasty. And they were a little pricey and not as pricey as, 2 bottles of wine. And I'm going to have those on hand for the things that I'm choosing to do this holiday season. It's really cool when it doesn't have alcohol in it. They last a lot longer. So, bring your own beverage. You can even bring your own fun glass. Get a new glass, not your old standby glass, but use this as an opportunity to like get a new festive glass. Like at the dollar store, they have ones for truly $1, and they're adorable. Some light
Yeah.
up, make it cute, make it fun,
Yes.
and be prepared. I also suggest packing a little snack in case you're going to like a dinner or you're going to someone's home and the main course isn't going to be ready for a while. Say the appetizers you don't eat or what have you. Just make sure that you're not hungry when you go.
And there's one of our day makers, she'd always tell me, I always bring my little cooler with me. Everywhere I go, I've got my cooler packed with a variety of drinks. And it was one of her things in her tool belt that just worked for her and still does, because she'll still reach out to me from time to time and say, oh my gosh, I still always bring my little cooler. And I always think of her when I'm packing my cooler to go to somebody else's house. But it
Yeah.
is so key. And get creative with those drinks. I was just talking about it on a Daymakers call about like what drinks do you like? I go to Trader Joe's a lot now when I know I'm going to stock up because they have these sparkling white tea with pomegranate juice and they're
Mm.
so good. Yeah, it's like a very mild drink and it really is. It almost tastes like, I mean, I can't really remember anymore, but it could almost taste like club soda and vodka because it's just that mild taste, but it's just better and you feel better drinking it. It's white tea, so it's calming. And then right now, there's this wassail punch, or however, I say wassail. That's right, like the Here We Come a Wassailing, the Christmas carol.
You've stumped
Do
me,
you,
Sarah.
do
I'm
you
not
remember
sure.
the Here We Come a Wassailing? You know that one?
I believe I'm having a Christmas moment. No,
Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
I'm going to listen to it.
you would go caroling and the people would pay you basically with wassail. And traditionally, I think sometimes it does have alcohol in it, but this is just juice. It's like kind of spicy. Oh my gosh, I love it. I got one more jug of it for the holidays. And like, I just mix it with club soda, or we actually made a round of kombucha with it. And when we tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like we're GTs over here. Like, we just made the best holiday kombucha ever by adding this juice to it. So go check those out. And have fun going to go get your holiday drinks. Like Heather said, she went on Amazon, bought herself something that's an extra special treat. Go do that and go to Trader Joe's, go to Target. Just really have a good time finding those drinks.
Yes. And another key thing that I have used so much and will continue to do so this holiday season is your support system. It's a personal choice to not drink, but it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. So during the holidays, you can find a friend or a family member who respects your decision and can offer support, whether it's a text before to remind you. You can actually text yourself to remind yourself. You can text yourself your tools. You can, join a community like the Daymakers where we have an off social media thread where I have posted, I could not tell you how many times, like, I just got here and I won't text when I leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really helpful. Or like any suggestions for X, Y, or Z. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes the anxiety of being around all these people and the expectations, sometimes we can forget our tools. So I think this is really important.
Yeah.
And, someone in your immediate circle that you trust, that you can reach out to you. Maybe call them while you're getting ready instead of pre-gaming like I used to do.
Me too.
And say, like, tell me 7 reasons that I don't need to drink. Listen to us or another sober podcast or uplifting podcast on the way.
Yeah, that's so smart because the listening to the sober podcast is overlooked. And like, even I still do it. I'll be like, sometimes I just want to hear some sober chit chat, right? With some sober friends. And that's when I'll listen to like Sobriety Uncensored, which they stopped doing their podcast. And I
What?
was like, yes. I was like, you guys were the one sobriety podcast I listened to consistently because it was like having 2 sober friends.
Right.
Just chit chat with you. But listening to listening to us, obviously, we hope you do. And like listening to Sober Powered. Sober Powered is great because they are somewhat shorter episodes and they get you through a craving. By the end of it, you'll be like, okay, I've got the tools, I've got the strategies. And then is it Sober Awkward?
Yes.
Yes, I love them too. Maybe they can be my replacement because they're also just like having some sober besties chat with you. But just remember to have that kind of support system when it comes, like you're always thinking, oh, I've got to make sober friends. Well, sometimes you can have sober internet friends and that works. But like the day makers, I don't know how many times people will be in the day makers going, I'm texting from the bathroom right now. Just want to tell you all it's going great. I know I'm going to make it through this. Or, oh my gosh, my uncle won't stop bothering me about having a shot with him. Tell me some things to say to him. And people are just like, we know, we're like, oh my gosh, this is a huge moment. Everybody's texting and helping out. So have that support system figured out.
Yeah. And on your way, I did this recently. To celebrate the win after you leave a festive event, stop by your favorite store and treat yourself to a little prize.
Yeah.
And that also develops more of a plan. And then there's a reward. And then that's, holding yourself accountable.
Yes. That's so smart. It's like and it doesn't have to be anything big. Just a little like, look at me, I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to plan our social calendar wisely. Bring your own drinks. Lean into your support system. And we have 2 more. Have a sober strategy for difficult situations. It's inevitable. Despite the best of planners, yours truly is a fantastic planner. You'll find yourself in a situation where people are starting to offer you drinks. You're feeling a little overwhelmed. Somebody has said something so tone deaf to you that you're activated emotionally. You get the point.
Yeah.
Always have a non-alcoholic drink in your hand. This can help with questions that you may get. It will hopefully avoid the questions that could trigger you to temptation to drink just because it's being passed around, right? So say they're bringing out the champagne on the trays. Have something in your hand. Say people are like coming around, hey, getting out the stash, the after party stash. You've got something in your hand. I think that's really helpful. And when people ask you why you're not drinking, you can confidently reply, I'm good with what I got. Or if they're like, no, have this shot of Jameson. I'm taking care of myself right now. Thank you. Or I want to feel my best tomorrow. Thanks.
And nobody knows that you don't have plans the next day. So you can always say, oh, I've got this really important thing I've got to go to with my kids tomorrow.
And for me, that important plan is me.
Exactly.
It took me years to get to that and mean it.
Yes.
And I had to tell myself that too. In the beginning, I didn't believe it. I had to tell myself that.
Yeah.
And think about your strategy for an airport. You can ask an employee to call friends of Bill W. And whether folks are in AA or not, if I am in an airport ever again, which I will be, and I hear that, I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You can carry your drink that you purchase when you get in the airport. Avoid the bar area, for goodness sake. Go get a snack where they don't sell alcohol and go sit and read, people watch, listen to podcasts, books. I will say in airports, I noticed this during my travels over the years, be cautious because some of the cans look really pretty and they're wine.
Right?
So just pay attention.
I know.
To that. So those are some strategies that I have found helpful. And one quick thing about travel that I think we've talked about before. I took an actual toolkit on my first vacation. I put my favorite Quit Lit book, something meaningful for my grandmother, comfort items, something I could fidget with. I knew when the day makers were going to have a call. I had the thread. I had another sobriety community in my pocket. Even if you don't use it, I think the idea of making an actual kit or bag, you're putting your intention there. You're making
Mm-hmm.
it before you leave.
Yeah. And even if you're going to, like, I know I'm going to be with like Ryan's family in the morning on Christmas Eve and then my family in the afternoon of Christmas Eve. That's a lot of family time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it can be overwhelming to me. I can get like sound overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And I'll bring my crochet along. I'm working on a blanket that's probably going to take me 10 years and I'll probably be carrying it with me to different things forever. But I just bring it along. I usually don't get it out. I'm usually okay. But the fact that I have something to do with my hands, and obviously that's not appropriate in all situations, but if it's with family and you know everybody's going to be sitting on the couch hanging out and it's something that will help you, do it. If, like, maybe you have an affirmation deck, bring it along. And when you go to the restroom, instead of bringing your phone, bring your affirmation deck. No one's going to know.
Yeah.
Just like do those little things. And the champagne, you mentioned that. That was the thing. I was the most worried about being offered champagne at a toast when I quit drinking. And it has happened to me once on my alcohol free journey.
It's not
Like,
happened to me at all.
I felt like it, I was like, oh God, that plate of champagne's going to come around and I don't know what I'm going to say. Just like laugh at myself because it just doesn't really happen. And I was really worked up about it. And I always have the plan of, I'm going to take the champagne, I'm going to do the toast, I'm going to hand the champagne to somebody else, and they're going to be so excited that they got a second glass like that. And I visualize it, I've worked through it, and I've only had to do it once in my life.
Yeah. I also want to say if you're at a nice dinner, let's say at a restaurant or an event, turn your glasses over.
Yes.
I think that can also be incredibly helpful. It just cuts the conversation. Nobody's pouring it. And if somebody gives you alcohol for Christmas, New Year's, what have you, and you're choosing not to drink, that happened to me this summer. I have an older lady that lives in my neighborhood. Guess who got a fancy bottle of champagne? My neighbor.
Yep.
And I normally wouldn't do that. And I knew she liked it. Therefore, I just didn't have any business. And I was like, well, could I throw it away? I could give it away. I needed it to be gone.
Yeah.
So she was the closest person to me.
Yeah.
Put it in the back of your car. Don't open it. Close the trunk. You get the point. So last one, focus on the joy of the moment. Now, that's what the holidays are about, right? It's so easy to get distracted when you are having like FOMO, fear of missing out, when you're trying not to drink alcohol, but you're really gaining so much more. And I can truthfully say this after having several alcohol-free holidays. I have had the best, and I have had some shitty times during the holidays, like battling cancer, like really rough times. And they're better. You can experience the joy of the moment from remembering the details of the experience, waking up feeling better and without the regret, not remembering what you did, what you said, feeling the tension in the air. Did I say something stupid? Did I not? Should I ask? I don't want to ask, because if I ask, then I have to share. I don't know. Then they're going to think I'm an alcoholic, right? Focus on the real reasons that you're celebrating.
Yeah.
Your relationships, your health, your overall well-being. When you're in the present, I think alcohol becomes far less relevant in your life.
Yeah. It really does.
And it's so hard to see that when you're listening and you're brand new on your journey, or you've had a blip and you're like, no, it's not. Like, I feel you. I have totally been there. Been like, don't be positive to me. I don't want to be positive. I want to be
Right?
mad. I don't want to have joy in the moment. I want to drink. That's
Yeah,
also,
gosh.
you're not alone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was so there. Before I was a non-drinker. I think once I made up my mind that I was going to be positive on this journey, I maybe went like overboard trying to be like, this is going to be the best holiday ever because I'm not drinking. And then in my second holiday season, I had to kind of figure it out because I was like, okay, I can't have this almost toxic positivity mindset all the time. Like, it's just not something you can maintain. But it helped a lot in my first year to be like, I'm going to be so present. And I really focused on the good stuff, the not being hungover on Christmas morning, and all the energy I have now during the holidays. Like, and that's something I still just love. I used to be exhausted during the holidays, and it's because I was drinking So I was either drunk, and when you're drunk, you get really stuck in that, like, your body is really fighting to keep going. And even though you think you're having so much fun, your body is just tired and lethargic. It's hard to clean up at the end of the night. Now I have no problem doing that stuff. And I don't feel resentful when I'm cleaning up. I don't feel angry. I just am like, oh my gosh, I have so much energy now. And then I wake
Hmm.
up the next day and I'm like, oh my God, I'm ready to go again. Look at me.
Yes, that's a really good segue into. I want to talk briefly about like self care during the holidays and staying alcohol free. It is so important to take care of yourself because I think when we first quit drinking or we have a particular mindset, we think we're just saying no. But think about what you're saying yes to. You're saying yes to your mental and physical health. You're saying yes to better life. You're saying yes to less anxiety. You're saying yes to so much more than just one no. Self care is so important this time of year. So, we're going to talk about a few ways to take care of yourself. Prioritize sleep and rest. I know that's hard. Oh, and I'm feeling that recently. But being rested makes you feel so much more grounded and it helps you make those choices that you have intentionally made and stick to them.
Mm-hmm.
You feel more pleasant, present, capable of dealing with the bullshit that comes your way because it's going to come.
Yep. It'll be there.
But so life will be lifey. Think about that. And I also want to say, like, if you're thinking, okay, well, I'm trying to sleep better, I'm trying not to drink, and it's the holidays, there's always going to be a reason to not take care of yourself. Always.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a good example. I'm on a very strict new elimination diet for my health to help with my joint pain because it turns out the healthy foods I was eating, guess who's sensitive to them? Me. So my healthcare providers were even like, well, just wait till after Christmas. No, I want to try to start feeling better now.
Now.
I know what it's like to be a human that procrastinated one of the most life-changing things ever, which was to quit drinking. And quitting drinking has helped me develop the mindset of like, no, let's just go ahead and start this now. I can bring my gluten-free stuff. I can do this. I can do hard things.
Yeah.
So that's my tangent about taking care of yourself during the holidays. And I am not a health conscious person, really, at all, honestly. And I want to feel better. I didn't come this far to come this far. So,
Mm-hmm.
staying active. This is also difficult. And Sarah, do you know that you inspired me on a purchase and an activity?
What'd you get?
I got one of those steppers.
Oh, yeah. The little.
Yes, because I
That
sit
was
at a
not very good
desk.
podcasting. I just did.
No,
Yeah.
I saw you. But I sit at a desk for work and I do a lot of typing and I can step and type at the same time.
Nice.
So you can get creative. I learned that Move with Nicole. It's on YouTube. It's free. You can dance. Y'all know I love a house dance party just to move your body.
Mm-hmm.
It helps with stress, boosts your mood, and then you can replace the post-drinking activity with something that actually makes you feel better, even though you may feel like you're going to die while you're doing it, which so does booze.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not necessarily while you're doing it, but
Right.
after.
But after, I'm
So,
like, what a good connection. And I love your, like, just add it in where you can. Because I
right.
have my little walking pad that I talked about and I'm loving it. It's how I edit the
So
podcast
jealous.
now. I'm just walking away and it's just like, it's great. And it's an easy way to get the extra movement in. So many different workout programs on like YouTube, or if you decide to subscribe to one, a different app, have 20-minute programs. And that's what I've committed to for this holiday season. I'm like, just do this 20-minute program. You can do 20-minute workouts. Like even today, I didn't get up early to do the workout because Mother Nature was being awful last night and rained and rained and rained. And when you live in a yurt, rain at nighttime is not cool. So I didn't sleep very well. So anyway, slept in a little bit, but I already told myself, like, you can go out and do this 20-minute workout. And I think in my mind, I'm always like, you have to change your clothes. You have to make it this whole kasha. And you absolutely don't. Like,
No.
I work out outside where it's cold. I don't get all that sweaty because it's so cold outside right now. So I can go outside and do a 20-minute workout, get it done. It's going to take no time.
Right.
And I think that making your mindset that way makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I agree. Totally. And gratitude. I cannot express this enough. especially during stressful times. And you think, well, it's Christmas. Of course I'm grateful. I get to see my friends and my family. And you may have Grinch moments like I do, where you're just like, "Rah." And I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't find anything in my house right now because I'm like, when you decorate, you got to move things, and then you've hid things from your kids. So anyway, like, and you're out of routine a little bit, you can't find anything, and then you don't realize how much like that'll like build up in your grouch tank. So practicing gratitude, whether you jot it down, whether you text yourself 3 things, text a friend, put it in your note section, it'll help you shift your mindset from what you're missing, i.e. a drink, to what you have right in front of you. A supportive community, your health, your journey, and small moments of happiness. It reels you back in.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. The gratitude thing. I am having problems doing it consistently right now. And I just keep telling myself, well, just keep, when you've got your small moments right now, practice your gratitude. So when I'm cooking dinner, it's a moment. Driving my car, it's a good moment to practice. And I know I'll get back on track with doing my morning routine, but just get those moments in. And oh my gosh, it can sound so stupid when you really are stuck in what you call the Grinch moments. You're like, I don't want to practice gratitude. So stupid. You start doing it and you're like, oh, I've got a lot to be grateful for. I shouldn't be so like, there's just times where I'm having very first world problems. And when I practice gratitudes, it helps me see that and go, oh, okay. It just helps.
I like that you said, like, when you're driving, like, you can say it in your head, you can say it out loud. I incorporate my daughter every night, and she's grateful for everything. And sometimes, like, Glinda from Wicked, she's 4.
Yeah.
And then I get to say what I'm grateful for. Like, my hair's growing. I mean, it doesn't have to be, like, a deep thing. It could just be whatever pops to your head, right?
Yes.
Helps us be present. Incorporate your family, like, when you see them. Like, I'm so grateful I get to spend this time with you. And if that feels cheesy, then just do it or don't do it. But like, incorporate it with your folks too. People want to hear that. Like, I'm so grateful to see you and spend this time with you. I want to hear it.
I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, I could do it each night before I go to bed. Tell Ryan one thing I'm grateful for, and he'll know. He'll know I'm up to some of my mindset shenanigans.
I'm gonna tell my cat, Kidney Houston. I'll start telling Kidney. She
Exactly.
cares.
Yeah, she does. She definitely does. But I think if you just say it sometimes out loud, it just helps. So figure out those ways to do it. Great tips on remembering the self-care during the holidays. Because I even just said this morning to Ryan, I said, we're about to enter that period where all we do is eat cheese and candy. And I was like, are you ready?
I can't have cheese.
Oh, God. He was totally like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. And I was like, well, we don't have to. Just remember that.
Yeah, I found a replacement, and that's like goat cheese with blueberries. My point is get creative with your replacements, right?
Yeah.
So just to wrap it up, the holidays do not have to be a big a struggle as we make it. A lot of that, like you said, Sarah, is first world. A lot of it is other people's stuff. It's not even ours. You can really thrive and be alcohol-free and have the best holiday season. It can be New Year's, right? It can be, it can be whenever you choose. And when you say no, I want you to think about all the things you are saying yes to. Make a list. If you're sitting in an airport, make a list. You got one no, and how many things are you saying yes to? And think about the people that truly matter to you and be present with them. That's the number one gift I think you can give anybody. So if you enjoyed the episode, share it with a friend. Please leave us a review, follow. Stay strong, y'all. And you're not alone. Put us in your ear.
You're not alone. And I just want to remind everybody to check out the Push to 100 if that's something that you're interested in starting with me on January 1st.
Yes. All right. Bye, y'all.